I'm Katelyn. I suffered from anorexia nervosa from the age of 15 until I was probably about 18. I went through family-based therapy, which was heavily involved with my family, especially my mum. And then I transitioned more to leading it myself, although she was still a massive support in my care. I found the most helpful thing is being able to initiate my recovery by myself and deciding that I wanted to change for myself, not for anyone else. Although my mum was a massive support in helping me get there and providing me with encouragement when I didn't think I could do it. The challenges I faced when trying to complete a meal was based around the anxiety that I had before meals, which then would build up, and I guess it was almost like I'd be so focused on the meal that I couldn't eat it because I'd be thinking about what's this going to do to my body. I'm so scared of this food. And then from that it would be feeling like I'm letting people down, especially my mum, as she was there to help me. I'd feel like I was letting people down. I wasn't doing the right thing, although in my head I didn't want to do it anyway. Prior to the meal, what I used to decrease my anxiety was if mum wasn't cooking the meal and someone else was cooking the meal, we would remove myself from the situation and would go upstairs or outside where I couldn't see what was being cooked and try and distract myself with games, or maybe sitting outside on the grass or chatting even, or doing schoolwork at that stage in my life to try and distract me from what I was about to complete, I guess. And then during the meal we would talk, and my family would eat with me as well, which I found a massive support of not being the only one to eat, because I felt like that was isolating. But then also we would use card games or word games that would distract me if I was struggling with the meal at that time. I did feel anxious, I guess, and scared after eating meals, because I guess you're battling with your mind, and I don't want to eat and I've eaten, so I'm feeling guilt and like I've failed my eating disorder as such, although I haven't failed what I was meant to be doing. I thought I had failed, and I'd feel so guilty after. And I think that was one of my hardest times, if I was left alone, I would just sit with my thoughts, and that was a really hard time for me. So again, my mum was involved in distracting me. Again, would just carry on the game. Someone would remove my plate and would sit at the table and just play games or watch a movie, do our nails or something that would try and distract me. I found the hospital setting very different from at home, and I think maybe more of a hindrance than a support for me, as though I felt it was removing the normal from eating, and I felt like I was there for food treatment, which highlighted some of the red flags, I guess, that I'd experienced before, and they boosted them up and put them in the limelight. Some diet talk and some things that was said that made me feel like I'm a bad person for wanting to eat and trying to get better. When the food experience is not normalized and it's not being social and you're the only one eating, it kind of feels like you're isolated and like you're the problem in the world, and it puts a spotlight on you. And I think the only way that I could get around that was having my mum there with me in hospital, and they would provide her with a meal, or she would bring her own food and we would eat together, which was the most real experience I felt, which was the only way that I could decrease my anxiety and guilt in hospital. For people that are providing meal support, I would say find what your sufferer benefits most from, and something that decreases the anxiety and guilt, and just go with that. Even though if it's not what you've heard before, if that works for them, keep going, because that will help them get through. Recovery is possible. It always is important to have support. Once that switch is flicked and they want to recover, it's a very positive road from there.